The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with Levi Solicitors, who will offer you not only a 10% discount on your legal fees for all their other services, but 15% on
wills, probate, conveyancing.
Said with skill and aplomb, Michael. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
How can people find out details about that? Should we shamelessly drive people to our other show? So you've got to get the discount there if you want it.
Phil Hay Monday Club.
That's the one.
That's where I'd go if I wanted wills, probate, or conveyancing.
For 15%?
15% off.
That's more than 10%, isn't it?
Correct. How much more?
About 5%, I think.
Correct again.
Rob's here as well as we do the weekly show. Yeah, levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for details on that. Relegation Watch is back in full effect. Should we do Promotion Watch instead first?
Because do we have to watch the other stuff? It's
Paul,
just not worth it, is it?
Paul Heckingbottom, Premier League manager. What a turnaround for the little fella.
It was always Victor Orta's dream, wasn't it?
He knows a good manager when he sees one, old Victor. We were wrong to doubt him.
So when he starts lashing out, if and when we go down, and we all start lashing out at him, he's going to lash out back in defence, saying, "You made me fire this guy."
Well, I don't think anyone was really asking for him to go. Were they?
Brought in what, Marcelo Bielsa?
I don't think anyone cared when Heckingbottom left.
What's he ever done, Michael?
It was the best couple of years of my life.
Really was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was it Orta that went to see Heckingbottom while he was on holiday to sack him? Sort of went and gate crashed his family holiday and was like, "Hey, Paul, great to see you. By the way, don't come in at pre-season."
I've been drinking heavily on the flight over, and I meant to sack you.
I was in Greece anyway. Me? What? Have I come with bad news? No, of course not.
I mean, he did make him go to
Myanmar.
To Myanmar first, didn't he, as well?
Bless him.
I wanted to mention Sheffield United because if we do stay up, it'll be good having a Yorkshire derby back in the Premier League. If we go down, it'll be terrible being replaced by them and by Hecky. But, you know, you roll the dice, you take your chances, don't you? Been quote tweeted this morning, actually, by a Sheffield United fan who, when, I think it probably my fault this, tweeted off you go then when Sheffield United got relegated 2 years ago, has saved that tweet and quote tweeted it back at us now they're being promoted.
No, fair play. That's brilliant.
That's what I said. I said, no, fair play for playing the long game. Exactly.
No, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I applaud it.
And if we do go down, we take our medicine, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, actually, if we do go down, there'll be nobody saying we deserve it more than our fans. Like, you can laugh at us all you want, but we'll be, I think, digging them out more than anybody.
The best thing to do is just, either say, yeah, fair play, or ignore people.
Yep.
Because it really upsets them.
Yeah.
No, just mute them as well. Don't give them the satisfaction of a block.
Yep.
Just mute.
Done a bit of muting this week. It's been very, very good. Wolves are safe, aren't they now?
Well, are they safe from the FA's wrath? Could they hit them with a points deduction? Have you considered that?
What if we do stay up based on Everton getting a points deduction? That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
They do deserve one. Without knowing the ins and outs, they do deserve one.
I know none of the actual facts.
My completely uninformed opinion
is that they should have a points deduction.
We're not here for informed opinions.
Well, they appear to have spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and they made some claim during COVID they lost a load of money because they couldn't sell players for loads of money, which they would definitely have done. Mm-hmm. So that was bullshit.
Bullshit, yes.
Bullshit. Yeah. So, yes, give them a points deduction. I'd say 5 points, probably be enough. 5 points. Well, let's play it safe. Give them 10.
9.
No, I mean, no, 10. I thought
10?
I thought you were doing German. Anyway, who else needs a points deduction? Let's have a look at the table.
I mean, Forest have spent far too much this last summer window. They keep buying players. I think they've probably, I don't know, they must have done something wrong.
Signed too many players. Is that a rule? So, yeah. It's 5 off them, maybe?
Steve Cooper's got the face of a criminal. Got to bear that in mind.
They beat Brighton this week. We didn't beat Brighton, did we? Imagine if we'd done that.
Oh, that wasn't fair, though, was it? Brighton had played for ages at the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
So that's cheating. That's another points deduction.
Yeah. At Wembley as well, which is twice the size of a regular football pitch.
Is that right? Yeah.
The big open spaces of Wembley.
It's not like the FIFA regulation standard size now.
Twice as big.
Yep.
They don't mention it on telly.
Right.
Because it would upset some people. But
it's because the cameras are so far out, they've just not noticed.
Yeah. But it's massive.
Right.
Yeah, really big.
Thank you.
They've got to actually scale up the ball so it doesn't look as big.
And the crowd.
Yeah.
I do like
it's all done with CGI now.
But. West Ham won, Liverpool 2 as well through this midweek because we're recording here ahead of the Thursday night games, which include Everton, Newcastle and Southampton against Bournemouth. I don't even want to declare what obviously I want Newcastle to beat Everton. As for Southampton, Bournemouth, I don't even have an opinion on it. Just do what you're going to do, so we know what we've got to do, which is still just going to be a win on Sunday.
A lot of the talk ahead of Everton Newcastle is about Anthony Gordon going back to Everton and how much they hate him.
Yeah,
so it would be very, very nice if he could score the winner and that club and fan base just entirely combust. I think that would really help Leeds out. They'd just lose their shit, wouldn't they?
And have a points deduction.
That too.
For violence on the terraces.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost in the mind that we need Southampton to win this, just to keep another team in it. But then I'll be regretting that in a week's time when Southampton go flouncing past us in the league.
I was going to say you ran this by Phil earlier on, didn't you? When we recorded with Phil Hay, and he just said, "No, you want teams out of touch as fast as possible."
But what if we're one of those teams?
But the idea is to not be. You've got to take control of your own destiny, haven't you, Michael?
Why haven't we done that in the last 33 games?
There's still time.
There is still time.
There's still time.
Christ, though.
Well,
It's
absolutely.
not very pleasant, is it?
So who's got who then? Oh, they've got some games.
We'll come on to it when we preview Bournemouth. But yeah, games, there's too many games. Other people winning theirs, us not. Liverpool need to stop messing around as well. They keep teasing us, don't they, when playing relegation rivals, like against Forest where they kept letting them score. And then last night it was a bit close to comfort with West Ham as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, why can't they just do the decent thing and stick 6 past pathetic bottom of the table teams?
I am worried that Forest have still got to play Chelsea as well, who seems to have given up.
Although we've got Spurs. They're probably about the same, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Forest have got a fairly horrible run after this, apart from Southampton at home is an interesting one there, isn't it? At least it means that somebody's going to lose some points there.
But someone's also going to gain some. It's like it's a glass half empty, half full scenario. I'm thinking someone's going to gain points there.
Can we stop talking about it? Because
Yeah,
it just makes me feel anxious. Let's talk about the 21s and the fact that they are about to get promoted, because what could possibly go wrong when it's all gone down to the final game of the season?
Just need a point, don't we?
Leeds always do fine in these situations. As long as Archie Gray's there, probably should be in the first team. But yeah, he scored a brilliant goal against Middlesbrough in a 3-1 win. He ran in a straight line really well, and no one decided to tackle him, which helped. And then he got sent off really harshly for 2 bookings. But yeah, he's really good. I watched it and wrote about it for the blog, and not even the goal, just doesn't take any time on the ball. He knows where all his teammates are, just lays it off, keeps the ball moving, sort of thing that you'd maybe like a few Leeds United midfielders to be doing.
I'm just in my mind contrasting that with what Rocker was doing when he was the last line of defence and he was doing pirouettes on the edge of the centre circle with the ball at his feet.
And then when Gray did get it in...
Mark, no!
When Archie did get it with players around him, he just did some like really cool back heels and beat him and carried on dribbling. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah, with that one as well, this game came after the Fulham game, didn't it? So I think we just had to watch Brendan Aronson falling over, and in this one, in his run, Gray rides a couple of tackles, doesn't he? And everyone was like, you can do that. You can stay on your feet and you can go on and you can score a goal.
There was also a nice moment in this because there was no commentary on LUTV. And so you could just hear some of the Leeds fans who would have been near the microphones and what have you. And there was just one woman who you could hear shout, "Fucking hell, Spurs have conceded 5 in the first 20 minutes."
Brilliant.
Yeah, but we get to go to West Brom's training ground.
Which is Walsall. This is very specific details. This Walsall WS5 3LQ. Interesting. When my ancestors emigrated from Ireland, they came to Walsall first and then went to Bradford. Of all the places they could have gone.
Wow.
Why don't they go somewhere leafy and nice?
Once had admittedly, I think it was 2008 recession time. One of the ITV Aways days was at the Bescott.
Right.
That was
the League One years.
That was a very very budget sort of.
I was going to say was the
team building session.
Was the spend had the spend been slashed at that point?
Yeah, very much so. It's got to stay in a hotel. I think it was overlooking. Is it the M6 that goes past Walsall? Would that be it? Yeah, I got a nice. I felt like the hard shoulder was more or less within touching distance of my hotel room. Lovely times. But yeah, if you want to go watch, can you even go? I don't know. Don't turn up, maybe. I'll do. Just go and if there's enough of you, you'll get in.
I was just looking back. It was 1995 we played Walsall in the FA Cup.
Phil Masinga scored the hat-trick.
I went to that game. That's the last time I was there, I think.
Well, no, the home game, Masinga scored a hat-trick, didn't he? It went to
it was a replay. It was 1-1, yeah.
Hat-trick in 9 minutes.
It's exciting, isn't it?
I was stuck with me, that.
What were you doing in 1995, Rob?
I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
Pissing your pants, that's what you were doing.
And nothing has changed.
And 28 years on.
Chris Marsh scored after 29 minutes for Walsall, and Weatherall equalised with 4 minutes to go, which is exciting, isn't it? We're doing that thing of talking about something else other than Leeds United.
Talking about Leeds playing Walsall, which we're not, and neither are the under-21s. They're playing West Brom in Walsall.
Yeah, which is confusing. But yeah, they can seal promotion back to Premier League 1 on Friday if they get a draw. Is that right?
That's the real aim of the season, isn't it?
And the women lost 5-1 to Newcastle at home.
Yeah, not great. Not fair, though. Newcastle going for promotion. Leeds don't really have anything to play for now. They were 5-0 down, and to be fair, Abby Brown scored another great goal. I think that's 2 in a row. And credit to Daniel Witham for running into the net to get the ball back at 5-1 down. Thought,
Come on, it's 0-0. It's 0-0. Last game of the season is on Sunday. They're away at the relegated Merseyrail.
Is the thinking as well potentially that this is a good thing to let Newcastle win, because then
Gets them out of the division. Is that
might get them out of the division, because they're like, well, they've got all this money now, haven't they? So and you don't even need to chuck very much money out probably at that level, do you? They could give like £100,000 and probably get promoted next year, whereas the rest of the division can't. So it's good to have them out. Good.
I mean,
glad we lost 5-1.
Leeds United with our £189 million turnover.
Not next year.
We're doing it again.
What are the parachute payments again?
You get about 40 or 50 million your first year, then it tapers down. So it's go down and bloody come back up if you're going to do it.
But I mean, Sheffield United, to go back to them, they were in quite a bit of bother if they didn't go up, weren't they? Haven't they been like turning the heating off and stuff at Bramall Lane? There've been tales of like they've been desperately trying to save money.
That to me feels like a fairly standard Yorkshire approach to your heating, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm often marching around, knocking that thermostat down, telling them to put a jumper on. Yeah, but it's
turn the floodlights down.
It's -11, Daddy.
Turn the floodlights off at half time.
Right,
that'd save money, wouldn't it? Don't need them on at half time, do you?
But I put them on a sensor. You should have a big sensor on top of the stand, so only when people are moving do the lights.
Oh, no, I was going to say turn them off, but then make the subs warm up in the dark. Just see how Rasmus Christensen gets on playing those 50-yard passes.
We probably can't close out this section without talking about all the weirdness that happened on Twitter Spaces with Weston McKennie. Can somebody? I mean,
not with Weston McKennie.
No, his associate.
His person he knows.
And I always feel annoyed having to talk about this because it's just so much noise, isn't there? There's so much noise surrounding Leeds. Stupid friends in America and food blogs and I'm sick of it all.
For anyone who isn't aware, it's not, despite his appearance, it's not Weston McKennie with the food blog.
Be nice. You're fat shaming. No, you're not fat shaming. You're just being a twat.
Yeah, I am.
Basically, for the benefit of anybody who's not aware of this, is not on Twitter, thinks the whole thing is just stupid. A Twitter space is where basically it's like a big room that people go into and shout, where you just join it. It's like a private conversation, but a spoken one rather than like a written one, which is what Twitter is. And that Mendoza character who says he knows McKennie, and McKennie's response seems to suggest that he knows him in some capacity anyway, invited a bunch of people into a space, started a space, few hundred people went in there. He said he trash talked a load of people. They trash talked the club. So McKennie was being played out of position and Aronson shit and things like that.
Yeah, and just saying he should really be at a better club, McKennie.
Yeah. Why isn't he then? That's the question. Yeah, it was a bit weird, wasn't it, the whole thing? So that's that summarised.
Just
shut up.
Just unnecessary, wasn't it?
Yeah, I joined it, and then about 5 seconds later, I just thought, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I refused to join it on principle, even though I probably would have found it interesting. I was like, I'm not. I mean, this is why I followed that Mendoza character before and spoke to him because we were going to potentially do a show on here, and it just didn't feel right, did it? For all these reasons that you suspected, that there was just a little bit too much noise coming out of that corner, and
a couple of people got in touch and said, "Yeah, it's a bit
tenuous.
It's a bit of a weird character. Like
he
seems to kind of be a bit of a hanger-on around that sort of stuff. So just don't."
Yeah, and whatever the purpose of that account is, all the best to you, but not for us. I don't think, is it? Just this is what we need to do now: is just shut out all the external noise because there's been too much of it. I've had enough.
If everything,
yeah, all of it.
Fine.
Everyone, including us, we should all just shut up and see how the season plays out and come back at the end of it.
I was going to say the Premier League sort of exists on just noise and noise and noise, but I guess we can't really comment.
I mean, we're part of the problem.
Well, I asked to be put into a coma several weeks ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
So, not that I'm inviting anyone to club me over the head.
Just say,
a nice medically induced one, not like cricket bat down the low field.
Low field tunnel every home game.
Christ.
What have you done?
Please don't. I've got a soft head. Despite how it looks, I'm sure it's quite spongy.
Have you got a soft head to go with your weak knees?
My knees, my back.
Honestly, you
my
never
head.
never shut up about your knees and your back.
Fuck Tana. Inside and outside.
It's a perfect metaphor for Leeds United this season again.
Yeah, pretty much. But not long to go, eh? Not long to go.
We should mention that the old song Leeds United that was on the was Leeds United and Leeds. Was it a double A side? I can't even remember.
I think so, yeah.
Or was Leeds as in Marching On Together? Was that the B side to Leeds United? Which, for the benefit of anybody not old enough, came out for the 1972 Cup final, which is where Marching On Together comes from.
Marching On Together was the B side, I believe. I wrote about this in the summer special last year. It was recorded in the same studio where Joy Division recorded Love Will Tear Us Apart.
No way.
Strawberry Studios in Stockport.
That is what are we going over there for? Let me have a look at the. Just talk about that song for a second, because I just want to see where it got to exactly in the charts. Do you know, Rob? Do you know it's part of your article?
It was in the charts. I can't remember. Top 10 or top 5, I think. It did well. But
Are you mentioning this because it was played at they decided to play a new song at the start of the game anyway?
It got to number 10. Yeah, it got to number 10 in the charts, April 1972, ahead of the Cup final, and then it got to number 10 again in May 2010 after we got promoted.
Oh, there you
go.
And did the remix in '92 chart as well? I think?
Didn't.
Did not. No.
That was great. It was Ian from is he at Crash Records? Ian?
Yeah.
Who was his remixer, and it was like a baggy sort of early 90s remix of which actually has aged quite well, I think.
It's really good. That was what I wrote about last summer, and there was Ian managed to get a story printed in England that it had gone to number 1 in Japan.
Right.
Which, yeah.
Caused a little bit of hype.
Not quite true, but,
Was it true at all?
It got played in Japan, definitely.
Okay.
But yeah.
It had a sort of I said the baggy feel, which was sort of a Happy Mondays sort of primal screamadelica feel to it at that particular time, didn't it? Sort of 1991. What were you doing in 1991, Michael?
Lego?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I've been like 7.
All year.
Good Lego year. Solid Lego year.
Oh, I bet you hated Lego. I've got to build this now. Yeah.
Freeform Lego. I didn't like the instruction Lego.
Were you a miserable child, or?
I don't think
Is
so.
that not what it still is?
The thing is, I'm not generally miserable. If people meet me, I don't think, aside from Leeds United stuff, I don't think I'm too miserable. It's just this fucking club absolutely just destroys me. Oh, well, no, I don't know. What did you do when you were 7? There was no on, was there? There's no telly on. There was no computers or anything. Hey, we're all fields. I was out playing in a scrap heap, doing something irresponsibly old-fashioned.
Yeah, so anyway, they played Leeds United, the A-side, just before kick-off after the stupid Premier League anthem and after Marching On Together. Unfortunately, because it's not been played for a while, I think a lot of people have forgotten the words.
I don't ever remember it being played, particularly. Not as a part of a sort of the pre-match ritual. And isn't that Premier League anthem is the most forgettable tune in the world, isn't it?
It did feel a bit like the club had learnt a lesson that we couldn't give them paper because we're just going to throw it again or try and do anything productive. So we'll just play a different song for a bit.
And there you go. Part 1, done and dusted. Look out in your YouTube feed for the Bournemouth preview. That is on the way. And are we doing heroes and villains?
Yeah.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, for some people.
The Square Ball Podcast.